Hi everybody, DUGROZ here with DUGROZ Reports. Welcome to another episode of Frugal Points. This is the series where I drive in my car and talk to you about the philosophical side of points and miles. Today I'm going to be talking about a cashback strategy for travel versus a points strategy for travel, and we'll discuss whether or not there's some sort of middle ground to that. In case you're wondering why it's dark out, I just dropped my wife off at the Des Moines International Airport at 3:30 a.m. for a 5 a.m. flight. So that's why I'm driving at this time. Sorry, it's not much to look at. Let's dive in. So why do we use points? Why do I use points? Well, it's a good way to travel. Duh. I mean, you know, we talk about I'm on team travel versus I'm on team cashback, and we tend to divide that into almost like team travel will trot all over the globe, stay in fancy hotels, and get epic value in that way. Team cashback is going to just save for retirement, have more income, maybe do the financial independent retire early thing or something like that, and are going to get epic value that way. But sometimes we act like the twain shall never meet, whereas I think they actually can meet. Or, here's where I'm going with this discussion, is there a third way, or maybe a fourth way, and that is a cashback strategy for travel. Now, you might be thinking, well, yeah, a hybrid strategy, duh, that's what lots of people do. That's even what I do. For example, I have my Chase set up the way I want, my Sapphire Preferred, a couple ink cards, got some freedoms. I've got a City set up, I've got the Capital One Venture X. I've got all four of the major transferable point currency systems going. But what's the main reason why I have cash back? Well, it's a supplemental thing. It's a hybrid thing. So, for example, this is not exhaustive, but I have a Blue Cash every day from American Express, throws a little bit of cash back my way. I have the US Bank Cash Plus, 5x on utilities, non-rotating categories. And of course, you could always cash out your Chase or City points or Amex points, etc. And I don't have a major problem with doing that as long as you're getting a penny a point. So that's the way I build up my travel savings account. Then I use that travel savings account for things when I travel. You know, mostly meals, entertainment, attractions, things that you can't pay for with points. This is not intended to be an exhaustive list. If you're going to make your travel free, you basically have to do that, or you have to cash out points, because with very few exceptions, you can't use points to pay for a hamburger. You can't use points to pay for admission to the museum or an amusement park. All right, so we've gotten that out of the way. And yes, there is this third hybrid way. But that's not really what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is like a whole fourth option, and I'm going to call it cashback for travel. And what I mean by this is that cashback is your predominant way of traveling. You're not using points to book hotels. For the most part, you're not using transferable currencies to book airline flights. What might that look like? I think the first thing it's going to look like is someone who does a lot of domestic economy travel. And I'm in that boat. So what are points best at? The thing that points are best at is getting you international business or first class flights. When my family went to England and Sweden last year, it was points that made that possible. Mostly Amex, a little bit of Capital One. And on the flights, I calculated out that I almost got 10 cents per point, not quite. Let's face it, those business class flights are expensive. So I don't think you're going to be able to pull off a traveling lifestyle where you're flying international business class 3 or more times a year and rely on a cashback strategy. So let's rule that out. But think of someone like me. So yes, I want to take a big international vacation with my family. about every other summer based on current velocity. But if I rule that out, everything else we're doing domestic, and it's mostly economy. In the last few years, I've flown to Pensacola, Florida, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Norfolk, Virginia, Las Vegas, St. Louis twice. There's others that I'm not thinking of. Some driving trips in Illinois and Wisconsin. For that, what could you do with cash back? Well, you could book domestic economy tickets, and you could use any airline. It could be Allegiant, it could be Frontier, it could be American, United, Delta, some combination of comfort plus cost saving. You can use travel portals. You can go through Expedia, you can go through hotels.com, you can go through like the Chase travel portal and pay cash. You could go through the Capital One travel portal and pay cash and earn points that way. So you've got lots of options. You've got card-linked offers. You've got portals like Rakuten and savings portals along those lines to earn extra points or cash back. You're a free agent. You're not locked into any particular currencies. Just, you've got cash. Cash is king. So if I were to execute that strategy, what would it look like? Well, first of all, I'm probably going to dump all of the high-end cards. Not that I have a lot. So I'm going to dump like any platinum cards, any gold cards from Amex, whether business or personal. I'm not going to have a CSR from Chase. I'll probably still keep the Capital One Venture X just to get the free Priority Pass lounge access, and that card ends up being, I'm doing air quotes, net annual fee free, although we know really you shouldn't pay $300 for a $300 travel coupon, but regardless, you can still book cash tickets through your Capital One portal. Whether or not I would keep the City Premier is kind of debatable. But then I'm going to have a whole bunch of cash back. I'm going to do like the Altitude Go from US Bank, get my 4X on gas. I'm going to have like the City Custom Cash to get 5X on some sort of category. If possible, I'm going to have more than one City Custom Cash. I'm going to keep my Blue Cash Everyday or Blue Cash Preferred for groceries. I'm going to keep my US Bank Cash Plus for utilities and maybe fast food. I'm going to find a card that gives at least 3X or 4X on dining. Well, that's easy. Any of the no annual fee cards from Chase, like the Freedom Unlimited, Freedom Flex, get you 3X on dining. So right there, you can just take that as cash. You've got your 3% cash back. I'm going to be hunting for bank account bonuses pretty aggressively, 4 to 6, 7 times a year. Try to get $200, $300, $400 bank sign-up bonuses. I'm going to be signing up for rando credit cards just for one-time sign-up bonuses. Like, if there's a business card from Capital One that gives $750 cash back after $10,000 to spend, I'm going to be going for that kind of thing. If there's some obscure credit union in North Dakota that's got, a card where I can get $300 cash back, maybe I'm going for that. So that's what I'm going to do on the cash back side. But in this fourth way, that's not all travel, it's not all points, it's not all cash back, it's not hybrid, it's this dedicated cash for travel, I'm also going to keep some travel cards. I know that sounds weird, but these are going to be the cards where they pay for themselves with either a free night certificate or something along those lines. So for example, I'm going to keep my US Bank Altitude Reserve. I'm going to use real-time rewards a lot. I'm going to use mobile wallet a lot. So my 3X mobile wallet combined with my 1.5 on the real-time rewards, I'm going to get 4.5% cashback equivalent frequently with that. And I'm just going to be looking for great deals and portals I can stack and that kind of stuff. I'm going to be keeping my IHG Premier Business Card issued by Chase because it's going to give me a free 40,000 point certificate every year. I'm probably going to try to pick up the Hyatt card with Chase, the consumer one, because I get a free category 1 through 4. I'm probably going to have something like the Surpass card from American Express for Hilton stays and try to put at least $15,000 on it a night to get a free night certificate. Depending on the type of domestic travel, it might make sense to go up to the Aspire. So either the Surpass or the Aspire. You know, I'm going to pick up one of the Bonvoy cards by Marriott that gives you a free night certificate. So, you know, get at least 4 cards that have FNCs on them. And then anything that gives you a status that makes it worthwhile. So, like, I'm a big Hilton semi-loyalist. I'd say a fanboy. I'm not super loyal, but I kind of like Hilton. So I'm probably going to be, you know, trying to do some Hilton stays in a lot of, like, Hampton Inn, Hilton Garden Inn, sort of the less expensive thing, home to suites, you know. So I'm building up points through my stays. I'm looking for, like, chase offers of, like, 10% back on a Hilton stay, if that's appropriate. Depending on how things shake out, I'm probably keeping my Aeroplan card, Air Canada's Aeroplan card, because it has that 1.25 pay yourself back, and I frequently talked about how with transfer bonuses, you can effectively get 1.625, even if they end up enforcing the 50,000 point a year thing. I'll revisit that some other time. I feel like if you transfer 80,000 points every other year, or excuse me, 100,000 points every other year, you know, there's still positive value to be had there, and use it for things like dining at the hotel and picking that up, you know, indirectly paying for it that way. So I think you've got a ton of options, and you can kind of be creative and be a bargain hunter at the same time. I think for someone that wants to do a lot of frugal value traveling within the U.S., where you're not staying at the bougie upscale hotels, you're staying at a perfectly cromulent Holiday Inn or Holiday Inn Express, Hilton Garden Inn, Hampton Inn. Shoot, I'll even throw in the Choice card, because Choice gives you, I don't remember if it's 15 or 30,000 free points a year for a $95 annual fee, which is enough to easily pick up, like, a nice country inn, or maybe even an Ascend property occasionally. And then the Wyndham card, you know, gives you, I think, 30,000 free points a year. Or no, 15,000 free points a year, which is, you know, in some ways better than a free night certificate, because maybe you only use it every other year, but hey, you're getting plenty of value. You might do the Vacasa trick every now and then, but you're mostly just, you know, you're going to stay at a pretty nice La Quinta or something like that, or a Sleep Inn. Well, Sleep Inn is Choice, but you get the idea. You know, you're going to be really careful about checking your Google reviews, because with brands like Choice Hotels and Wyndham, there's just a ton of variability. I should also mention this strategy pairs really nicely with buying points. For example, Hilton points and IHG points you can frequently buy for half a penny each, and yes, there are caps. With Hilton, you can combine them with a player too. With IHG, you can't. But with this strategy, probably my wife and I would both be buying whatever the maximum number of Hilton points per year is, or at least we have that option. And then we can combine them into my one account, because I have the gold status from the Surpass card. I mean, shoot, maybe look into the Best Western card. So I think it would be a system where you have a lot of hotel cards and a lot of cash back cards, and you just try to maximize those two things together and work on them together. I do have a refer a friend link for the IHG cards issued by Chase. I think those are top-notch cards, whether you're fully into some sort of hybrid strategy or a cashback for travel or just dancing around the issue. And I'll put a refer a friend link in the description box or pinned comment if you consider using that one. I would really appreciate it. I'm going to do the same thing with my Hilton Surpass card. Of course, you can use that to get to any of the Hilton cards. That would be a refer a friend link too. Check that out. I just feel like there's a lot of appeal to that. I'm not saying I'm going to give up my points. You know, I've got Amex points, but nothing really planned for them between now and summer of 2025. So I might try this. It's something that's bouncing around in the back of my brain. A cashback for travel strategy with your hotel type cards mixed in. You've got your Aeroplan card, you've got your US Bank Altitude Reserve. Just try it for a year or two and see if I like it. I'm not sure if I will or not. But yeah, when I travel alone, like a weekend rip trip, a 4-day weekend getaway, if I have a decent Hampton Inn, I'm fine with that. Another thing that opens up is the possibility of non-chain hotels or Airbnbs or Verbos, those kind of things. You can mix those in. Look for gift card buying, you know. Again, you know, go to Staples, buy your 5X on your ink cards, even if it's just 5% for cash back. Some Hotels.com gift cards. Use the Hotels.com gift card to book some property that's, maybe a boutique hotel that's not part of a chain. You get your Hotel.com rewards. You can use Rakuten to pay at Hotels.com. And yeah, you're not getting a ton of value out of Hotels.com. Their reward program kind of sucks nowadays, but you're getting, like 2.5% back equivalent that you can stack with other stuff. Just lots of options, I think. Let me know what you think, and if you think I should try that or not. And as always, may your spending be frugal, and may your points be plenteous. Thanks for watching.